Hello, my name is Thomas Mendenhall, and this is case number 10, liquidated damages. So first, a brief overview of the case. Um, Client has assigned $2,000 per day liquidated damages for late completion to your 25 million turnkey contract. You pass these liabilities onto your subcontractors. One exterior siding contractor who sends you written notice requesting additional time whenever an RFI or submittal is a day late being returned. They document every adverse weather day. They document when other subcontractors are holding them up. They request schedule extensions with every change order. Not all of their documentation is substantiated, but some of it may be. And they are claiming a total of 20 additional workdays. So dealing with the siding subcontractor during the project. So first we want to hold a kickoff meeting to get everything off to a good start, specifically with this siding contractor. And we want to review all of our contract terms within the agreement. Clarify that only delays impacting the critical path and meeting the contract criteria will be considered. We want to acknowledge each notice promptly to avoid waiving your right to contest. We can use scheduling software to assess whether their claims of delays are actually affecting the critical path. So only critical path delays justify these extensions. We want to enforce strict compliance with notice deadlines and formats. If the subcontractor fails to meet these, we want to reject claims on procedural grounds. If the subcontractor is failing to meet these deadlines. So important thing here is to acknowledge legitimate delays to build trust with the subcontractors. So when legitimate delays come through, we're going to acknowledge them and do the right thing to create trust. But we want to firmly reject frivolous or poorly documented claims. And this is the firm but fair approach. And this balances authority with collaboration to keep subcontractor motivated and without encouraging excessive claims. And we want to document their performance in daily reports or construction diary to support our position in disputes. So passing notification to the client. Do not automatically pass all subcontractor notices to the client. This may overwhelm them, damage your credibility, or signal poor subcontractor management, as it is your role as the general contractor to manage subcontractor issues and only escalate valid claims. So review and filter notices based on the contract before deciding to pass them through. Pass through claims that are clearly caused by the client or their agents. These are potentially excusable delays under a prime contract. Only pass claims that demonstrably delay the project's critical path and expose you to liquidated damages, such as the 2,000 per day. So only claims that are substantial. Do not pass claims lacking proper documentation. We want to make sure these claims are based in fact. Delays not affecting the critical path should be managed internally to avoid unnecessary client notifications. So it's not affecting the critical path. We do not want to worry the client with them. So if the subcontractor ultimately finishes behind schedule by 10 days and you also finish behind schedule, does your client collect from you? Yes, the client can collect $2,000 a day in liquidated damages. So up to $20,000 for those 10 days, unless you secured time extensions for excusable delays. If the siding subcontractor's 10-day delay was non-excusable and caused the critical path delay, you're liable to the client, but you can recover from the subcontractor per their contract. If their delays or their delay was excusable and you properly passed through claims, no liquidated damages apply, and we should conduct a critical path analysis, review documentation, and negotiate with the client to minimize possible liability in this situation. So without stipulated liquidated damages in the subcontract agreement, the client will collect $20,000 in liquidated damages unless you secured extensions for excusable delays. You can recover actual damages caused by their non-excusable delay, potentially up to $20,000. It's important to remember, without stipulated liquidated damages in that subcontract agreement, recovery is harder because you must prove actual losses, causation, and it being their fault without simplicity of a liquidated damage clause. If documentation is weak or delays are concurrent, recovery may be partial to the full amount or zero. So with stipulated liquidated damages in the subcontract agreement, the client still collects the $20,000 in liquidated damages unless you secured extensions for excusable delays. You can recover up to $20,000 from the subcontractor for their non-excusable delay, leveraging the LD clause. If only 5 days were non-excusable, you recover $10,000. Recovery is straightforward due to the explicit LD clause, assuming you documented their fault and complied with notice requirements. So, do you offer a subcontractor bonus dollars per day for finishing early? Isn't this only fair? Yes, a bonus if the siding subcontractor's early completion significantly reduces LD risk and accelerates the project. Offering the bonus is fair if the subcontractor's early completion delivers measurable value and the subcontractor includes LDs. And this brings a balanced incentive penalty structure. Fairness in this situation is best achieved by trying the bonus, by tying the bonus to performance and ensuring equal treatment across critical trades. A bonus of $1,000 per day for each day the siding subcontractor finishes early is appropriate when the LD penalty is $2,000 per day. So, scenario: the siding contractor finishes per their original schedule, but had built up the claimed additional 20 days and had a bonus clause. they would now claim that a bonus was due for $40,000. Do they get it? The siding subcontractor is not immediately entitled to the $40,000 because they did not finish early relative to their original baseline schedule. They finished on time per their original schedule, on time, not early. Their claimed 20 additional days do not automatically extend the schedule for bonus purposes unless you approve those extensions. And if you did approve all 20 delays as excusable and formally extended their schedule, their on-time finish relative to the original schedule could be deemed 20 days early relative to the adjusted schedule. So in that case, they may be entitled to the $40,000 depending on the bonus clause's wording. And in this case, you pay it and the client does not. And any gray areas in between these two scenarios would likely need to be either disputed and possibly litigated. Thank you, guys.